Welcome to another episode. I am in my truck. I brought my F-150 since I cannot be fitting the wheels in none of the M's. Alright guys, so we made it to Austin's shop. He's got an amazing shop. I mean, he's got so many different makes and models. I mean, if I'll go ahead and link his Instagram. I want to say a special thanks to Austin and John. I'll go ahead and link both of their Instagrams and also in the description down below. And I mean, I'll go ahead and give you guys a look at his shop. Right now he's got a 335 IS of a E92 M3. We got this GT3 right here. I'll go ahead and just give you guys a quick little tour, and then I'll do a cinematic just to show you guys everything that's in here. And we'll also get to go inside the office and show you a little bit of what he's got going on. It's a competition package. I put the chrome badge just because I like to break up the look on this car. So this car is built by Team Schirmer. I've done almost their full kinematic kit, which is all their suspension components done. You can go like crazy if you want to, but then you have to start shipping parts to Germany, have them align it there. So I did everything I could here. So I did their aerodynamic kit. I don't have their BBS E88s, but I will be getting those. These are HRA 540s. They're an 18-inch, so I have an 18 by 10 in the front, 18 by 11 in the rear, 265, 295. But with certain tire setups, I could go up to a 295, 215, which I'll probably be doing. All their suspension stuff is over the car. And so I did a roll cage built by Studio RSR. It's finished in gloss white because I wanted it to match the stripped out interior, which is white. So far the engine is stock. I don't really find the need to modify it. I do have an active AutoWorks single mid pipe. I did have a Remus rear section, but I took that off and put the stock top muffler back on. Just like to change stuff up. So far I also have the brakes done. So rear is stock, calipers are stock. I think those are pretty good. I have the fuel lines done. So here you can see inside I have this is by a company called Gyro Disc, which makes some pretty good rotors. I do have aftermarket pads. Right now I'm running stock pads because I'm on the street setup. I am running spacers, 15 millimeters up front, 8 in the rear. Only reason being because of the camber. If I didn't have a spacer, this tire would be sunk into the body, so I just needed to bring out the track a little bit more. I also have GTS hood done by ABS Auto Body. And up front you can see I did have a M4 GTS lip, but that didn't last that long because I live in LA. I have the RKP front lip. This is paint protected and ceramic coated by Austin. And this thing just takes a beating. I've hit this on everything. There's a tiny crack here and there, but it's lasted such a long time. With the Schirmer kinematics, I mean, there's only so much I can talk about with regards to their suspension, but I did keep a lot of stock arms on the car because Team Schirmer, unless you want to go balls to the wall with everything, what you can get from factory is fine. So a lot of like my control arm on the bottom or on the front are fine. Those are stock.
He's definitely got more goodies on the way. Just so addicting, right? Just wanting to switch up the look and the style.
I still do have some stuff on the way. Right now the car is sitting on KW V3 suspension. I will be upgrading to the Nitron suspension from Team Schirmer. The only thing is logistics right now, getting parts from Germany here. You're waiting for customs. It could be a month, 2 months, 3 months. It could be a week if you're lucky, but it all depends on time. With these wheels, so an interesting story with these wheels is when I waited about 6 months for these wheels. I got them, I put them on the car, realized they weren't fitting properly. So I had to upgrade the brake pads, because the stock brake pads have these wheel weights on the bottom, which just hit the inner barrel. So now, being on race pads, they don't have the little weights, so it clears. So I actually took out the weights on the stock pads so that I could run stock pads on the street with this wheel setup. But when these wheels weren't fitting, I ordered another set of 540s and 19-inch. So my friend actually sold me back these wheels, and I sold him my new 540s, which are on the way from HRA. Which
you're a good friend.
Yeah, which are still about 4 months out probably, but it's just getting parts. With the Schirmer diff kit, so when you lower a car, your axle from the differential just starts to tilt. So what Schirmer does is they lift their diff by a couple millimeters, which brings the axles to a more like flat setup. So it's just, you have less wear on the axles, on the drive shaft, and it helps a lot with like accelerating out of corners, and it will last longer because the rubber bushings from factory they're not that good. They're made for comfort.
Right, not for performance.
Exactly. I've completely stripped out, besides my jacket, but I've stripped out the entire interior. So carpeting, trim, everything out. So I've probably shaved, with everything, I've taken out almost 100 pounds off the car. And then you put the cage back in, so it kind of evens out. But it's good to get weight out where you can. I've taken the carpeting out of the bottom too, so it's easier for the cage to be put in. And then I will be going to Recaro Seats.
Nice.
Just waiting for those to get here. I had a red interior, and I was looking for a black interior because the red popped out too much for a track car.
Yes, it does.
So I met up with a friend who was down to trade interiors. We swapped our seats, door panels, everything possible. You can also see, so when I do the buckets, I will be taking the carpeting out. Team Schirmer offers a carbon like panel here to put your feet, so you're not hitting just the sheet metal from the car. I've been talking to Tom Schirmer for about a year now. I hit him up saying, look, I'd like to do a couple things to my car. I want to start tracking it. We were in contact, and it was a year in the making.
I would have done no justice to what he just explained. I mean, you guys just heard it from Michael. I mean, everything that he's done to it, the whole theme and the execution is really coming together. And again, it's my first time seeing it in person. I've seen it on pictures, but you know, once you see the cars and the builds in person, you really see the amount of time and dedication that's been put into it, and it makes the car much more special, I believe.
Took a lot of late nights to get the car to the way it was. Just when it comes to even before track, just dialing in suspension, changing stiffness. You have to change on the go too in the track. Just get to the track, you're like, oh, it's just not feeling. Probably you can stiffen it, take the suspension down a little bit. But once I do the Schirmer Nitron suspension, I'll have way more adjustability than do.
Guys, make sure you guys give him a follow. Yeah. Check out his build. Follow it through. You guys are gonna definitely love it as much as I do. It's very unique, and
it's dirty right now, but it's just I gotta get around to washing it.
You know, this is a car that's being driven around. It's not you know, it's not a garage queen. Thank you, Michael, for showing us your car. Appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime.
Alright guys, so this is one of the wheels. We got all the rest of them right over here. Thank you, Austin. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Alright, so this is the first time I actually see him. Wow. That looks amazing. Basically, this is the Classic 300 dark brush finish, the polished slip, and then on the inside I went ahead and did the same thing as my vintage, which I went with the silver finish on the inside. I love it. And as a matter of fact, while we're here, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna be doing the ceramic coating. Well, not me, but Austin. You know, he's been kind enough to help me out with this process. And this is what they look like in the sun. That color just reflects so nicely. Does it very special. Whenever they send out a box, they actually have a box that says hardware inside, and when you open it up, you get this nice, looks like a gift box, but it's actually your center caps, your maintenance package, how to keep them clean. As you guys see, you got your maintenance package right there. Then you got the classic blue, red, and white center caps. My favorite, I do have the carbon fiber and the all silver, but the classics are the best for me. Alright, so we brought the wheels in here where they're gonna get coated. So it's already kind of just setting everything up right now. Alright guys, so this is the picture right here. That lid just, the way that the step lips go, I mean, it just really gives it an illusion like the wheel is actually bigger or wider than what it is.
Before coating, I like to just kind of clean up the wheel, make sure that there's no residue from fingerprints, oils, polishes, anything like that. So we'll spray it down with some sort of solvent, all the finished surfaces before we coat it, just to ensure that the bond for the ceramic coating is as ideal as possible.
So even though the wheels are new, they still have oils or...
Yeah, I mean, this is just one of those things, like, better safe than sorry. Like, you have some places that you can go and probably pay a bit less, but the prep work, to me, makes 90% of the difference. Just make sure whenever you use something, whether it's like a wheel acid or a pH balance, iron remover, or whatever it might be to clean the wheels, just make sure that the wheels are always cool to the touch before applying anything, to make sure that nothing will etch into the finishes. The inner barrels with Expel Fusion. For me, I've been using this for 2.5, 3 years now. I've gone through a number of other coatings. I like how slick this coating is. It's not going to be the most durable coating out there, but in terms of slickness and gloss, I think it's second to none. So this is my preferred ceramic to use. But
how often would you recommend to do an annual maintenance or get
on
redone?
Wheels? It's a little different. One, it comes down to how well you maintain it, what cleaners you're using, what other chemicals, how hard your water is at home, etc., etc. But in general, I would say you probably can get, I don't know, maybe 2 years to 3 years out of a coating on the wheels, with one maybe annual maintenance where you just kind of deep clean it and apply some sort of sealant to kind of bring back all of the original hydrophobic properties. On paint, they're giving 4-year warranty per se. So I think obviously with an annual maintenance, you should be able to get 4+ years depending on how you maintain it.
That is actually a good amount of coverage for...
Particularly for wheels. So you have guys who will charge $500 to $800 for a coating, and not to say that they're not doing like a true ceramic coating, but the prep work involved is very, very different. So you know, it's, to me, obviously, like, I think I provide good value for the money, but everyone's gonna say that. So it's, I don't know, I think everybody, you can't be everything to everyone. So, yeah.
Definitely do your research and you know, check out their quality, right? Make sure that they, if they go somewhere else, obviously just see what kind of work they produce, right?
Yeah, see, I mean, in an ideal world, go to whatever shop you want to use, talk to them about pricing, talk to them about the prep work that goes into it, figure out how long it's going to take them to do the work, what coatings they're using, what their maintenance programs are like. And then try to find a car that they've worked on in the past and see the work out in the sun under different lighting, because you can see different defects or scratches per se in different types of lighting.
Right, absolutely. Now, what kind of soap would you recommend to give the finish a long lasting?
For coatings, I prefer CarPro Reset. It just has the best cleaning capabilities. It's cleaning road grime, brake dust better than almost anything else I've ever used. So bang for the buck, you use like an ounce for every 5 gallons. So you can go a bottle about this size, 1 liter, and if you wash once a week, it should last you the better part of half a year.
Oh. That's awesome. That's honestly great advice to keep the ceramic coating and keep the shine as well. So I know this might be a little difficult for the camera to pick up, but this wheel hasn't been coated yet, but then this one has. And I don't know if, I mean, it is noticeable. You can just tell how the light just pops more from the spokes and the lid from that one than when you look at this one right here. Right now he's gonna go ahead and do another wheel, and I'll show you guys how this is done, especially since there's hardware. Can you explain what the benefits are with using
this versus like a standard applicator?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this way we can get a little bit more even coverage particularly into the hardware. I wouldn't be able to get like an applicator down there. So this way we get full coverage of the entire base and hardware.
How long do you let the product sit for before wiping it down?
It depends on what coating you're using. It'll depend a little bit on like humidity, temperature, just kind of some external factors, but generally this will sit for maybe a minute when I'm done, and then we can wipe it down.
Would you recommend doing this outdoors?
No, I would try to keep it in as much of a controlled environment as possible.
Perfect. So that way no dust elements can stick to it. You guys see everything's getting coated, including the center caps.